Hey everybody, welcome back to the Soul Locke between myself, LightsabreSMGN, and my good pal, Total Sun Bro. We are on episode 76, and guys, I'm gonna be honest, we are past the time we normally record because we love this conversation that we're having. So, as we dive back in, we currently, in-game, we are moving onwards and outwards as we are about to press over to that Team Galactic duo. We're gonna kick their butts, and then after that, we'll see where we go. Neither of us really remember what happens next, or I don't, and he's never done it. So, in our conversation, however, we were just talking about apricot gardens and this ideal Pokemon, like the Pokemon game of all Pokemon games. What does the apricot garden situation look like, and how you fashion your Pokeballs? Yep. We were in the middle of talking about make it instanced, make it team-based, have people be able to take from your garden and be able to all work together. And we had just talked about doing, like, you have your own instance and you have a community one. And Summer, you have one more thing that you wanted to throw in there, so go for it.
That's literally it. So when you go into the garden area, there is a public team, guild, what have you, based community garden that has X amount of space. Okay? But then, let's say that there is you need a specific type of ball. And that is not, like, you know that you're farming for this Pokemon and you need this ball for that. Like, let's say you need Abra, and so you need a quick ball. Because you need something you can throw out immediately, right? You can go in, and there is a personal garden instance that you can go into within the community garden. Like, let's say, like, for the purposes of Pokemon and the way this would look is you load into the area and you are in the community garden that has 25 trees in it. And then if you want to go to your personal garden, you go to the bottom of that area and you walk in to your garden. What do you think of that, Lightsaber?
So this is actually the idea that I was pushing forward at the end of the episode, and I would change it slightly. So I think that your house should be different from your team club building. Just throwing out an idea. So
just because you have a house.
Here's why. Here's why. So I think that whenever you get property, a house in each region, you should get a garden in that area. What that means is the more DLCs you purchase, the more gardens that you have, which makes perfect sense. And what that means is also, like, this is your own instance area, and each building can be different. As opposed to
a la Animal Crossing, where you design your own house.
Yeah. Which I think would be a very cool part of it.
So, picture you have your house and your garden. Like, picture you have your house and your garden. Like, as you're playing the game, right? You have your house and your garden. And then if you walk off to the left, there's a path. You hit a loading screen, and that goes into your team headquarters. If you go down, that leaves the area and takes you back into the regular game.
That I'd be totally okay with. But the question then becomes, in the game I'm describing, you walk into your Kanto house. You walk into your garden. Awesome. You walk left, you go to your team building. But maybe you want to go to your Johto house now. Do you walk right and it asks you which house you want to go to? Or is your Kanto team just a Kanto team, and then you have a different thing for a Johto team? Because I don't think that should be how it works. I think you should only have one team. So it just becomes a question of if the two are married, and you can just cross back and forth with the loading screen, how does it know which house to take you to?
You have your team. You have your team area that you load into. And then let's say when you go to the left, it exits the area. When you go to the right, it loads into your own instance. And that instance is determined by the area that you're in. You're in Kanto, it's Kanto. You're in Johto, it's in Johto.
So there will be no jumping between.
Yes.
Okay.
If you if you're in Johto and you want to go back to your Kanto area,
then you've got to jump out of there and fly to Kanto.
Yes.
Okay. That part I can get behind that. So, moving on from the gardens. Thinking through the other aspects of the game, we've talked about the raids, we've talked about this. To me, something that I think would be important, and I don't necessarily have a perfect answer for this, is give all levels of gamers a reason to participate in PvP. And I don't know what that would be. Because...
Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
So, in these PvP routes that I've been talking about, that we both talked about,
Yep.
this awesome idea of you walking into the zone and you're literally walking alongside other trainers. This is not an instance route. And you walk up to Joe Blow over here and you're like, hey, I want a battle. You want a battle? He's like, sure. And the fight starts and your Pokemon are synced to level 50 because it's a level 50 route.
Pause. So I know that you're literally saying what I said earlier.
I am.
But I would like to see something, and it's hard. With me saying this, I have no functional idea how this would work. But something a la Dark Souls, where maybe you get force invaded, or battled.
No. I'm going to say no right now. Finish your thought, but...
In Dark Souls, there are level syncs to an area.
Yes.
Okay? And it's not per area. You can level sync anywhere. But let's say you're invading in the beginning area. If you're above level 10, okay, you will not be able to invade in that area.
Okay.
Like, it physically will not let you. Does that make sense? So, let's say that as you're going through these PvP routes, you might run... Now, maybe you do, maybe you don't run into people. But if you do run into people, it's not optional. They engage, and then you battle. And you have to be ready for that battle.
Still saying no.
You don't like that?
The entire thing that we hinged the PvP routes on, that I was totally... Oh! Never mind, we've already caught here. Never mind. Okay. The entire thing that I hinged the PvP battles on, and you agree, you brought it up actually, is it has to be willing from both sides. Because what is going to suck more than playing through and being near the next town, getting invaded, getting whited out, and getting sent all the way back? Or another instance. You're trying to do a Nuzlocke playthrough for your story. Because in what we have described, that is totally possible.
There would have to be routes. There would have to be routes that... It's hard. It's hard to balance, because I want to say there would be routes that would be worth going into that for. But what do you offer that would be worth going into that while simultaneously being fair and giving an item that is comparable to the challenge.
There's only one.
Master Ball? Couldn't be a Master Ball.
Huh?
It could not be a Master Ball.
Why?
You would get one Master Ball per area.
But that's the only item in the game that would drive that type of thing. Anything else is a one-off. Anything else, you figure out when the servers are least populated, you dash into that level 50 route, you get the item, you get out.
This is a weird encounter for me.
But the only item in the game that you sit there and you go, yes, I will run that route and I'll run it again. It's the only one.
Okay. In that situation, here's how this works. Naturally playing through the game, you would normally be level 30. If you want to PvP through this alternate shortcut route, it's level 40. If you enter at least one PvP match and win, you can get a Master Ball. But it has to be above the average level of do you know what I mean? Like, you would have to earn going that route.
So,
does that make sense?
it does. I would never ever put it on a level 30 zone. This would have to be, you've beaten the Elite Four.
It's endgame.
By now. It's endgame. And it would have to be, I think it would be a route where you walk in. And maybe this isn't even a route. It would make more sense if it was honestly more of a Safari Zone bog or like dungeon style area. But it's a single player, like you go in and you start hunting for this hit. And as you go, there's a stacking chance of someone invading you. And if you get invaded, you fight. And this is the level 50 zone. Everyone's level 50. You fight them off. And then you get a minute of guaranteed no invasion stacks. But you can't heal. And your sole purpose here, it's not a shortcut to get to a new zone. It's not, there's no destination except for to find the hidden Master Ball. To find the item.
Okay.
And after that,
let's say you can't heal for 50 seconds or something.
no.
But
Heals are instant in Pokemon.
No. You don't have the ability to heal within like 50 or so seconds. But you have an invasion so that you can heal before invasion. You don't want to.
That would be the whole point.
It needs to be close, but not zero. You need to have the ability to heal before going into battle. And I'm not saying that that doesn't need to be something you're paying attention to. You need to be watching. Like, say you've been in for a minute and 15 seconds. And 55 seconds was the point where you needed to heal. That's on you if you didn't. Does that make sense?
So, I still don't see it working super well if you're able to heal in between. Completely.
You can heal once every 58 seconds. You can
Yes,
get
but
invaded every 60.
I still don't like that. But the entire concept.
You continue on with what you were saying, and I'm going to shut up.
Yeah. So the entire concept is it's a race against time. You have to rush in there. You have to figure out the puzzle. Maybe it's a strength puzzle. Maybe it's a whirly pad puzzle. Maybe it just selects from 5 random assortments. Like, it could be this one, this one, this one, or this one. And you run in there, and each time, no matter which puzzle it is, the destination you're after is different. And you have a stacking, you might get invaded, you might get invaded. Here's the invasion. Trainer Richie wants to battle. And you jump in. And for these types of things, it has been traditional for Pokemon to, like, say, you only have 3 Pokemon available. Like, you select your 3 as you go in. What I think would work with the no-heal idea is you select your 6 when you go in, but each time that it pops up saying, Trainer Richie wants to battle, who will you use? It then limits you to 3, and it limits your invader to 3. So,
does it show you in real time what the opponent chose? Or does it just show you their options?
it would never show the invader. It would never show the invader what they chose. For the
Does
person...
it show their total 6 options?
No, it would never show.
Okay.
Besides, the invader would already have selected their 3 before they got in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the invader selects their 3, queues up for invasion, which I'll get to in a second. Like, if this is where we're going, this is what I would do with it.
Okay. I'm listening.
That's actually
I'm
progress.
100% actively listening.
Yeah. So, maybe you get your 6 Pokemon. Invader comes in with 3 random. You don't know what it is. It would have normal restrictions, like you couldn't enter with a team of 6 Rayquaza. They couldn't jump in with a Kyogre, Groudon, and Deoxys. But,
no duplicate legendaries.
Yeah. No duplicate legendaries. No S tier legendary, or Uber tier is the actual term. But you get invaded. You now have a minute of, this is just puzzle solve. And then invader number 2 comes in. Maybe you swept invader number 1 with your first Pokemon, but it got low, so you don't put that in this time. You have a little bit more longevity with no heals that way. Eventually, you might get the Master Ball, or you might get swept. Now, on the invasion side, there also has to be an incentive for being an invader. So I think that every time you get a successful wipe, as an invader, you gain 1 token. And these tokens can be used to purchase in-game items. Whether that is, you can trade 1 invasion token for 40 Ultra Balls, or you can trade 1 invasion token for 10 proteins. Like, something that would normally just cost a bunch of Poke. So, it's giving you essentially like 10,000 Poke, but it's just these invasion tokens.
Okay.
I think would be worthwhile, because if you told me by doing this invasion you would get a currency that's good for 10 proteins, what you've just told me is that I've completed my medicine-based attack EV training in 1 fight, which is very worth. Because 10 is the cap you can give a Pokemon.
It would need to be 2.
Why?
Because you invade once, and you get your main Pokemon up. You're done.
I don't think that would be how it worked, but it would have to be a substantial amount.
5, I would say.
I would be okay with 5. 2 is literally 2,000 Poke. It is
2 would not be
1,000
worth
Poke.
it. 2 would not be worth it.
Yeah, it would not.
It would need to be. I said 5 because I agree with your idea. It needs to be worth it, but it doesn't need to be so valuable that everyone's invading all the time. And then there would need to be a
Well, but what's the problem with everyone invading all the time? When you as the person who's running have a 1-minute invuln per invasion.
not enough people just running through.
Or Master Ball? I mean, I guess it depends on what your value of a Master Ball is, but in my opinion,
That's fair.
especially when you've got the game built with these raids that we've already talked about, where you have to catch the Pokemon in a traditional battle after finishing the raid.
Yeah.
Master Ball on Mewtwo is going to be worth it if you're farming for high stat Mewtwo. Because the current system in most games of farming high stat Pokemon, because they're only single time,
Is saved before the encounter.
is saved. So you have one Master Ball, but it's all you need because you're going to get it eventually.
Okay.
So I do think a Master Ball would be worth it. And perhaps the way that it works for higher level places is that they introduce tiered Master Balls, where this Master Ball is guaranteed to catch any Pokemon under 50 or under. And this one is guaranteed to catch 70 and under.
You would need Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and so on and so forth Master Balls. You would not want to be able to take a Master Ball from Hoenn and catch something in Johto or Kanto. So on and so forth.
100%. And I mean, 100%.
It's tied 100% to the area you got it.
Yes. But that is such a different, Pokemon route than what we were talking about earlier. Which is, maybe that is...
It would be part of the endgame.
Oh yeah, 100%. No matter what, PvP is part of endgame.
Yeah, it's not something you, accidentally find yourself in. It's not something that,
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yep. Makes 100% sense. If you want to save yourself some time, go to the one on the right.
I'm gonna battle everyone.
I'm not telling you to not battle. I'm just telling you that the one on the left is a waste of your time.
Yeah, it's not something that you would want to just have. There needs to be a benefit.
Yes. And I do think what we just drew out is actually something I would participate in as someone who doesn't like PvP.
I also think it's possible, and that's, I would say, the most important thing.
Fair.
That
I have
system,
no clue what this Gallade knows.
That system is not something. It is something that doesn't exist currently, but it's not something that could never exist. What we just described is something that could 100% exist in today's matchmaking climate.
Yeah,
with other
easily,
games.
Super easily, but I think no matter what, even going back to our original routes, I do think some sort of currency does need to be involved for winning PvP battles.
What about being able to what about you win 5 games and you get an item that increases a specific EV on one of your Pokemon by 1 or something like that? How many EVs is considered max?
Are you talking about EVs or IVs?
IVs.
So individual values, unless the system has changed and I wasn't aware of it, the cap for each is 31. It's a 0 to 31 system, and each IV represents one singular point at level 100. So I don't know that I like the idea of being able to change
You would have
IVs.
people grind. You would have people grind your IVs. That wouldn't really work.
Yeah.
It'd have to be like 10 to 1.
I still don't know if I like that idea. I don't like the idea of being able to alter the intrinsic value like that.
Okay. I'm listening.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that you could do for it is involve making EV training easier, which means like this would be how you would access the power items, which increase how you do it.
Okay.
Maybe they introduce a like you get enough of these and you get guaranteed Pokerus. That's a possibility.
Okay.
Do you know what Pokerus is?
No.
So the Pokemon virus is a somewhat unknown. Forget that move. Do not keep that move. Somewhat low. Like, it's not talked about in the game very much. It is a condition that your Pokemon gets. Where why are you being a proper fighting type gym here? I don't like it. It knows Earth Power, which is super effective, but based off its special attack stat, which is Garbo. Yep, that's about as much as I expected it to do. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not a fan of being able to alter the IVs after they're set. I don't think that's conducive. Because that makes other aspects of the game.
If we weren't
like
to say
breeding,
Master Ball is the end all and be all, right, of like what you earn, what would you say would be the best thing?
Sorry, repeat the question.
Say if you defend against invaders, you have a chance of getting Master Balls, correct?
Yes. Yes.
If you're invading, what's the benefit to invading? What makes it worth your time to invade?
Making it worth my time to invade. He is a proper fighting. Oh no, the first one was Quagsire.
It can't be. It can't be Master Ball.
No, it can't be. And worth my time is anything that makes EV training faster. Anything that makes breeding faster. Or Effect Spore. Yikes. You're gonna heal, I'm gonna heal. Status healers. Oh, yeah, you do have embargo on this guy. Where was I? Yeah, anything to make breeding easier or faster. Anything to make EV training faster. Because EV training is something I'm absolutely okay with them speeding up. Absolutely.
Because it takes so long right now.
I mean, if you are doing it at the most efficient way possible, it does not take terribly long. Because the most efficient way possible,
provided you're doing it in that very specific, only that way.
What do you mean?
Like, it's very specific, so like you have to EV train in this specific way to get any progress. Or to get significant progress. Like, there's one way to EV train.
Kind of?
Well, it doesn't sound like a complete agree, so you want to expand on that?
Well, first of all, I want to know what way you're thinking of.
I've not ever messed a whole lot with EV training in any Pokemon game that I played. Like, I play, like, for the most part, I've played through the games, and I've experienced what those games have to offer, and then that was it. If I played, I might play through the games again, but I've not messed around an incredible amount with the PvP in Pokemon games. Proper PvP, separate from trainer battles.
Right. So, let me start by asking, what do you know about EV training currently?
So people will take a Pokemon and EV training is bringing up that Pokemon's base stats as high as possible. So you raise its attack, you raise its defense, and you basically raise where that Pokemon is weak, or you raise where the Pokemon is high to either get something super strong or super well-rounded.
Okay.
Is that accurate?
Yes, but what do you know of the process?
Almost nothing.
Okay. So let me explain the process. First
Before
foremost,
you do
let me
that,
Oh, is it time?
it's time.
Well, guys, we finally got off of the ultimate Pokemon thing for a split second.
Briefly. Very briefly. Trust me, we will wind up back there.
Go ahead and take us out, my dude.
Isn't it your turn?
This was episode 76.
It was episode 76, son of a gun. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of our Soul Locke series. We will be back tomorrow with even more Pokemon shenaniganery. And please let us know what you think of what we've been talking about so far up to this point, or what you would like to talk about, so that we can read those comments and adjust our conversation as would be required. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Take care, and thank you for joining us on today's Soul Locke episode. And thank you to our good friend, Lightsaber, for joining us on this journey. Take care, guys.